We want to start with that breaking news. A small jet crashes into a San Diego military housing neighborhood, damaging homes, burning cars, and forcing the evacuation of more than 100 people. And there are new details from San Diego police. They say at least 2 people are confirmed dead, 8 people injured, and 10 buildings damaged. KCO News reporter Rina Nakano is live in San Diego with the aftermath. And Rina, that neighborhood looks like a war zone.
I mean, the damage really spans so many cars and homes right here. I mean, the NTSB has arrived since our press conference that we brought to you about 30 minutes ago, and you could just see the trail of destruction coming from one house that took the brunt of it, but it rolls down this entire hill. When firefighters first got here, they found this entire street on fire. At least one house got the brunt, but as you see, the flames kind of snowballed from one house to another, from one car to another, and neighbors all across this area just kept hearing pops of explosions all morning long at around that 3:45 mark. We do know that the plane was headed from the Midwest, and it was headed towards Montgomery Airport, and the flight path seemed normal until it lost signal. Residents here are used to seeing planes in this area. As I told you, Montgomery Airport is just on the other side of the hill, as well as many military bases are in this area. In fact, what you see here is a military housing neighborhood where families from all branches of the military and veterans call this area home. Earlier, we spoke to a woman whose husband is deployed. She has several kids and animals. After being awoken from the explosions, she was stuck inside of her home, but the next thing she knew, her military neighbors were there to create an escape path from her burning house and save them, brought them to safety. Now, we do know that there are 2 confirmed dead. They believe those are the occupants of the airplane, 8 people injured, and 1 of those were transported to the hospital. We do know that many families were stuck in this area, but again, it's those families that are in the military that come out here to support each other, combined with the heroics of the first responders, that really made this a miraculous event where no one here on this scene, there were no fatalities.
And here's another live. Crews did a great job working with San Diego PD to start evacuating the neighborhood, and with the military to ensure that we are doing the right things to work with the military on that. Great coordination by all. We were able to get knocked down on the fire, start to work through and start to do secondary searches of the houses behind us and ensuring that everyone was out of those areas.
We do know that the weather conditions were not optimal at this time. At 3:45, it was dark. It was very foggy. We know that one of the power lines in this area had been clipped. Perhaps that was a reason for this crash. But we do know that both the FAA and the NTSB are now on scene, taking a look at what's left. This trail of destruction. There are certain cars that are completely mangled. Parts of the plane you could see for miles, we are told. So with those information and that study going on right now, hopefully we hope to get some more information as for the cause of the plane crash. But what we can tell you is that 2 people are confirmed dead. We believe they are part of the airplane. None were from this neighborhood. Live in Tierra Santa, I'm Rina Nakano. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Rina, thank you for that. And as she just mentioned, the FAA and the NTSB say they'll be investigating this crash. They're already there. Assignment manager Mark Liu has been tracking all of the data at the desk. Mark, what have you learned so far?
Well, there's a really key piece of information that came out in that last news conference that Rina was talking about. She mentioned it near the end of her story. It involves power lines. A firefighter at that news conference described a main power line was down not far from where this plane crashed into the San Diego neighborhood. And radar logs that we have here at the desk appear to show that plane heading directly for that power line tower when it dropped off the radar. Come out to my screen. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is the flight path of that Cessna Citation II as it took off from Wichita, Kansas earlier this morning, had a completely normal western flight path across the western half of the United States, and then came in to land in San Diego. Now I'm going to zoom in right here where it drops off the radar, and you're going to see this is where the radar signature ends. And this is the neighborhood that the plane crashed in. Very likely this plane was headed from Montgomery Field in this direction. But after hearing that news conference, I zoomed in even further here, and I want you to look right here on the left side of your screen. Two high power lines in towers directly in the flight path of this aircraft. And the last barometric altitude reading of this aircraft was 500 feet. Now, those towers are on top of a hill. It is very likely that this plane could have passed extremely close to these towers on its approach to Montgomery Field. If it struck those towers or the power lines, it would have gone directly into the neighborhood. The wreckage is all right in this area. You can see how that could have happened. Now, I'm going to show you some video of the moments immediately after this crash. Look at the line of fire rolling down the street and the cars that are engulfed in flames. The fire department says this is because of a huge amount of jet fuel that came out of that plane after it crashed, rolled down the street, caught fire, and destroyed every single car in a line here. Now, home was destroyed also in this crash. People ran for their lives out of this home. A lot of military families living in this Murphy Canyon neighborhood. The fire department says 8 people were injured, but 2 people died so far, they believe, on the plane. This is some of the fuselage of that plane. You can see the wreckage. You can see an engine there and the homes and cars that are severely damaged as a result of this crash this morning. The debris field was enormous, according to the FAA and the fire department. They have 100 people out of their homes here in this Murphy Canyon neighborhood at an evacuation center. It's an elementary school nearby. But now the FAA and the NTSB on scene conducting what will be a very lengthy investigation, Amy, into what caused that Cessna citation to crash in that San Diego neighborhood this morning. That's it from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you.